Hello there, my name's Vicky and I'm a personal development coach and a mindfulness teacher. And I also practice mindfulness. I've been practicing mindfulness now for over 10 years. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about mindfulness and how mindfulness can be helpful to enhance our well-being. And what is mindfulness? Well, mindfulness is the development of our awareness of our moment by moment experience. And it can then help us to become much more fully present in our lives. It can be practiced anywhere, anytime. It certainly isn't about doing formal meditation type practices all of the time. There's quite a lot of myths around mindfulness actually, and hopefully this session will help you to understand a little bit more about mindfulness and how it can be especially beneficial to you. So mindfulness originally comes from ancient contemplative practices such as Buddhism, which enable people to go inward and gain inner wisdom and expanded awareness. This basically means just getting a better insight into ourselves, into the world around us, and being able to grow as a person. In more modern times, mindfulness has been combined with psychological approaches to help manage conditions such as stress, anxiety, depression, and actually chronic pain as well. It has so many benefits to our mental and physical health and well-being if we practice it regularly. John Kabat-Zinn, who is one of the most well-known Western mindfulness teachers of our time, describes mindfulness as paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, and without judgment. And he sometimes adds to that as if our lives depend upon it. The non-judgment bit is really important. It's a very, very big part of our mindfulness practice. So why do we actually need to be more present? Well, the thing is, when we're not present, we often get caught up in what's happening inside of our heads. And we can sometimes allow our thoughts to run away with us and get lost in the stories that we create for ourselves through our thoughts. So if we can take ourselves out of our thoughts more and more, we don't get so stuck in analysing the past, for example, worrying about the future, or listening to that little voice of self-doubt inside of our heads. And we don't just become more aware of our thoughts, but we also start to become aware of our emotions, our behaviours, and the way that we react to certain situations. And by practicing mindfulness, we create a little bit of space around our thoughts and our behaviours. So we can almost hit the pause button and we can learn or start to learn how to respond to things that happen around us rather than we react, to them quite so much. And we start to step out of what's called automatic pilot, which are basically the habitual patterns of our thinking and our behaviours that we've all got, that we've formed over years and years. And we do these things without even being aware of them most of the time. So if we can create a little bit more space, we also create a moment of choice where we can really start to create better, more helpful patterns of thought and behaviour that is much more helpful to our well-being overall. Mindfulness also teaches us to start to move towards our experiences, including difficult thoughts and emotions. And we start to move towards them with this sense of kindness, curiosity, rather than trying to avoid them or repress them in any way. And if we do this, we can start to ask ourselves particular questions. If we're more aware, then we can start to ask ourselves, what is it that we need right now? What do I need in this moment? Do I need to take a break? Do I need to talk to somebody about how I'm feeling? Do I need to stretch my body because I'm feeling lots of discomfort? Do I need to drink something or eat something to replenish myself? Do I need to ground myself in the present moment because I'm far too much inside of my own head right now? And I'm going to be guiding you through a short practice actually to help ground yourself and bring yourself into your body through your body and your breath, which you can join in with me if you wish to do so. So it's a beautiful day outside today. So I thought I'd bring us out into nature for the next part of this session, obviously in the virtual sense at the moment. The reason for this is because nature is such a wonderful way of grounding ourselves in the present moment. There's so much that's available to us when we step out into nature, and that might be actually just seeing what's around us and what's available to us, or it might be choosing one particular thing that we can focus on, like a beautiful flower, a leaf on a tree, or a blade of grass, even. Um, and it's a way that we can open up all of our senses to what we're experiencing in this moment. The sense of seeing, of hearing, listening, of really smelling what's there and available to us, being able to touch it as well. And we don't even have to be out in nature, we can bring nature in to do that. For example, I've got some beautiful pebbles here that I picked up when I was last in Devon on the beach. And these actually form a mindfulness practice for me because I can pick up one of the pebbles, hold it in my hand, really kind of remember where I was when I chose the pebble, which was a really enjoyable experience. I can feel the coolness of the pebble against my hands. I can actually pick it up and look at it and really notice the pebble, all the shapes, all the different textures, all the tiny little bits that I wouldn't notice if I just literally saw the pebble on the beach. Um, so yeah, so there is so many ways that we can really open up our senses by tuning into nature and the world that's around us. And it starts to really open up our awareness and an opportunity to be in the present moment and really be there moment by moment. So before I guide you through a short practice, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about all the different types of mindfulness practices that are available to us. I spoke to you earlier about the fact that we can do more formal practices, meditation practices, but we can also practice informally as well, such as when we're out in nature, for example. That is more of an informal, what we call an informal practice. So what other practices are there? Well, there are so many, but I'm just going to mention a few. So we have the body scan, which is basically enabling us to really focus on sensations that are happening in the body, and we start from the tip of our toes and work all the way up to the top of our head. There's mindful movement, so we can notice what's happening in our bodies as we move, and also the patterns of our minds as we react to those movements. There is mindfulness of breath and other meditations where we kind of sit and or even lie, and we're going to be doing one of those in a few moments. There's also mindful walking. So we can just walk out in nature or outside as we normally do and just be more aware of the way that we're walking, or we can slow that really down and do it in a very sort of pronounced and conscious way. And there's even mindful eating as well. So rather than just eating our food as we would normally eat it, maybe not even paying attention to what we're putting into our mouths or tasting it in any way, we can really slow that down as well, and tune into different tastes and textures, and even contemplate on how the food arrived on our plate in the first place, the whole journey that our food's taken to actually get there. Um, and yeah, and that kind of really helps us to be more grateful actually about the food that we're consuming, and also, you know, tuning into the fact that it's nourishing our bodies, and how it's helping us to actually be alive. And you can also practice mindfulness through any daily task that you do on a day to day. And this could be brushing your teeth, taking a shower, washing the dishes, moving around your room, walking up the stairs. It's just really the opportunity to do that task in a very, very pronounced, moment by moment way, so you can really experience it. So mindfulness is very much, when we're starting to train our awareness, about really slowing down and not just hurrying through things in automatic pilot. So we're going to do a short practice now. Please do join in if you'd like to. You might like to just pause the video for a moment and make sure that you can get yourself into a comfortable position. You can sit on a cushion like I'm doing, or you can sit in a chair. You can even lie down on the floor if you wish to. The only thing with lying down on the floor is sometimes we're a little bit more prone to go to sleep. The main thing is that your back is nice and straight, your spine is nicely aligned with your head, and you're sitting comfortably. So don't, you know, try and sit in a position that isn't comfortable for you. And it's just going to be probably 5 to 10 minutes, just a very short session that will just help us to start to become more aware of our bodies, aware of our breath, and practice coming out of our thinking. We are going to think. So don't think that you're going to sit here with a lovely, clear mind. That very, very rarely happens. It takes a lot of practice to get to that point. But what we're looking to do is really just calm the mind a little bit, and just practice over and over again, coming back into our bodies and just noticing our bodies sitting here now, and using our breath as an anchor. So when you're ready, we'll make a start. And just simply start by noticing, really noticing your body sitting here. The feet making contact with the ground, the buttocks making contact with the chair or the cushion. Maybe your hands in your lap, maybe fingers slightly touching. Maybe even noticing the clothes against your skin. And just starting to go inward now. And if you feel comfortable to do so, then close your eyes gently, or maybe just lower your gaze down towards the floor, whatever feels right for you. And as we start to go inward, we can start to notice particular sensations in the body. So maybe just check in and just notice what your temperature's like right now. Are you feeling cool or warm? Do you notice any particular areas of tension that are around in the body? We're not trying to change them in any way unless it's really uncomfortable and you need to move to release that. Just noticing where the tension is being held in the body. Maybe scanning the body from the top of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes. And now just taking a few moments to actually soften that tension a little bit as best you can. So maybe just dropping the shoulders down a little bit so they're not around your ears, opening up the chest area, just allowing gravity to take us down into our seat, just opening, softening, letting go of the tension as best you can. And then just gently scanning the body once again from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And just noting any sensations that arise for you in this moment. So it may be sensations of pulsating. It may be tension. It may be the feeling of relaxation starting to arise. It could be warmth. It could be coolness. It could be other areas in the body where you're holding on to stress or anxiety. Just noticing. And also noticing where your mind is right now. Has your mind wandered off, thinking about something that's happened before or worrying about something that might happen later on? Minds move around, thoughts come and go. We just simply notice where our thoughts go and then bring them back, bring our minds back, focusing back into the body and the sensations that are around for us in the body right now. And every time you catch a thought, that's a moment of mindfulness where you've become aware of what your thoughts are doing and where they're going. You just gently bring your focus back over and over as many times as you need to. And you can also notice the breath. The breath in the body is a really good way of anchoring yourself into the present moment. And again, we're not trying to change the breath or force the breath in any way. We're just simply noticing where the breath is in the body, where you can most notice the breath right now. So it might be as it comes in through the nostrils. It might be as you breathe out through the mouth or the nose. It might be the rise and fall of your belly as you sit here breathing, or the rise and fall of your chest. And you can gently observe your breath, the breath moving into the body, the breath moving through the body, the breath moving out of the body. And we can start to watch the full cycle of our breath as it comes in, moves through and moves out. And again, every time the mind wanders, in whichever direction it chooses to go, just gently noticing that and bringing your focus of awareness back to your breath. And noticing the breath moving in and through the body, gently grounding us in the present moment, into our present moment by moment experience of what is here for us right now in the body and in the breath. We're just starting to notice your body sitting on the chair or the cushion once more, really noticing your feet connected to the floor, where your hands are, where they're touching. Noticing the whole body sitting here, being aware of your whole body, being aware of the room that you're sitting in. maybe even expanding your awareness to outside of the room. And just starting now to bring a little bit of movement into your body, into the fingers, into the feet, maybe wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, maybe just taking a nice shoulder roll or a little stretch. And just gently, when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back to this space. And you can practice this as many times as you need to or want to, just for a few moments, or make it as long as you want to. The key is that you practice it as often as you can. And this is the first sort of mindfulness meditation practice that we normally teach when teaching mindfulness. This awareness of our body and awareness of our breath. And it's just a way of really starting to train the mind and bring the mind back into focus so that the mind isn't just wandering off and controlling our reactions. So taking this sense of present moment awareness now into the next moments of your day. So in summary, mindfulness is all about paying attention on purpose to your experiences as they happen moment by moment. And it's about learning to start to respond to what's happening to us rather than react in those habitual ways that we might have in the past. But do remember that it takes time and you need to come to your mindfulness practice with a sense of curiosity, gentleness, and kindness. Remember, non-judgment is really important. And it will take practice. It's not going to happen overnight. So do try and practice every day in some way if you can. If you'd like to know more about how mindfulness can be accessed as a psychological approach or psychotherapeutic approach, then you can go to the NHS website. There's a mindfulness page on there. It's got lots of information on there, and we'll share that link with you. Or talk to your employment specialist or your health and wellbeing coach, who will be more than happy to signpost you, I'm sure. So I hope that you've enjoyed the session. I hope you found it useful and informative. And thank you so much for taking part. I'm wishing you a really mindful day, a week ahead, and all the very best to you.